Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Coffee and Conversations with the one and only J-Man. Your morning will never be the same. Here we go.
Here we go. 2, 3. Yeah, yeah. I know your eyes in the morning sun. I feel you touch me in the pouring rain. And the moment that you wander far from me, I wanna feel you in my arms again. And you come to me on a summer breeze, keep me warm in your love, then you softly leave, and it's me. It's your, how deep is your love? It's your love. How deep is your love? I really mean to love, 'cause we live in a world of fools, yeah, breaking us down, yeah, when they all should let us be. We belong to you and me.
I believe in you.
Yeah.
You know the door to my very soul. You're the light in my deepest, darkest hour. You're my savior when I fall. And you may not think that I care for you when you know deep down inside I really do. Baby, you need to show how deep is your love. It's your love, how deep is your love.
I really mean to learn, 'cause we're living in a world of fools, breaking us down when they all should let us be. We belong. Break the music, come on, say it. How deep is your love?
How deep is your love? I really need
To learn, 'cause we're living in a world of fools, breaking us down, yeah, when they all should let us be. We belong. Come on, let's say it one more time. Y'all help us. How deep is your love?
How deep is your love? I really
Mean to learn, 'cause we're living in a world of fools, breaking us down when they all should let us be. We belong to you and me. One more time for Yeba.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. You're listening to Coffee and Conversation with your boy J-Man on Spreaker.com, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and all the other platforms that we're on. Even Alexa, that's right. Alexa can make it do what it do. Hope you all have a great week thus far. Hope that you all have enjoyed your recovery from the 4th of July weekend, if that's what you want to call it. I pray that each day has brought you something different, new, and exciting in your lives. I want to begin. Let me give a shout out to those in the chat room. Good morning, Nurse Rachel. Good morning to you. Good morning to all of my warriors out there at Emory Winship Cancer Center. Good morning to you all. Make sure you stay focused, stay determined, do what you need to do, and give cancer hell. To all of the trainers, that's my doctors, nurses, psychologists, psychiatrists, everybody that works out there, even my environmental specialists. Thank y'all so much for taking care of my warriors, making sure that they have what they need and they're arriving to a nice, clean, safe place to hang out and do what they need to do and get well, get better. I appreciate you all. Good morning, Dr. Tony. Thank you so much for being on as well. I woke up in a, I don't want to say a different mindset, but something jarred my thoughts this morning or piqued my thoughts this morning. Y'all forgive me, I'm making my coffee right now. And it was, I had a mindset or a thought about how we adjust when we find out. The statement is, when you know better, you do better. When you know better, you do better. A lot of times we blame the enemy. The devil made me do it. You know, that type of thing. Or, you know, that's just the way things are. There are a plethora of excuses that we use to make excuses or use as excuses for our actions. In reality, majority of the time, it's just a choice that we made because of the information we had at the time. I just thought about, just before I came on air, I just thought about the video that's gone viral, especially here in Atlanta, but I know it's nationwide because his ministry is nationwide. Creflo Dollar did a sermon a week or so ago, and now it has gone viral because he has apologized to his congregation. He apologized to his congregation about his teaching on tithes and offerings, and how he had inadvertently taught something that was not correct. And in humility, he sat on a stage in front of everybody. Because if you all know his ministry, it is on offerings and tithes and things like that, and the importance of it from his vantage point. But I don't want to deal with that. I want to deal with the fact that he was honest enough with himself. And this is the key point. This is the point that I want to make. He was honest enough with himself, within himself, to say, I need to check this. I got to check this. I found some information that made me better. I went through some things that made me better. And because of the platform that I'm on, this speaking from his vantage point, I have to go back and check some things and correct some things. Here in life, let me share my testimony. Let me share my story. Some years ago, and this was just before my eldest son graduated from high school. So that's been 7 years ago now, 7 or 8 years ago. I pulled all of my sons, with my two sons and another son. But I was mainly talking to, or not the other person wasn't my son. But I pulled my two sons and I apologized to them. I looked them in the eyes and I asked them to forgive me. I asked them to forgive me because I told them, I said I was dating the wrong way in front of you all. I showed you some things that was not right in the area of being a man in a single man in a dating situation. And I apologize. This is the way you should do it. Had to sit down and have that conversation with them. I don't care what position we are. Sometimes as parents, we get things wrong. As the boss of a company, we get things wrong. As a leader, when I was in the military and I was a leader, I got things wrong. And I could keep naming the list. As a church leader, you get things wrong. I can keep naming different positions where we may be in leadership and we are in charge of certain things and certain people, but we can't approach things like we know everything and we say everything right. We may at the time believe that we're doing and saying everything right, but there's a time when we come where you have to say, wait a minute. That wasn't right. I didn't do that right. I didn't say that right. I gave you the wrong information. I believe this. Humility is one of the greatest traits any man or woman can have. And it is the most, if you ever want to be free of things, if you ever want to be free of things, humility is an ingredient that is necessary. Humility is an ingredient that is necessary. You have to have humility if you want to become better. I'll put it even in a better term. In order for you to become free of things that are holding you back. Truth be told, a lot of the unforgiveness and a lot of the anxiety and depression and all this other that leads to physical ailments. A lot of that is based on things that we are holding in emotionally. Life situations that has happened and we haven't gotten it off of our chest. Whether it was things that you've done to people or whether it was things that people have done to you. And you had to admit this happened to me, or you had to admit I did this. But if we never get to a place in life where we say, you know what, I need to be real with me. I need to be real about me. I've allowed things in my personal life to hold me back because I wasn't humble enough to admit this was wrong. I did this wrong. But it wasn't until I began to say, yeah, I did that. Let me back up just a teeny bit. The reason why the enemy, I'll say it that way, and people, the enemy and people can hold us hostage is because we're afraid to admit we did something wrong. There was a season in my life, and it happened. I began to see that it was a pattern from the enemy and those around me. The pattern was this. Well, if you don't give me what I want, I'm going to tell the church this. I'm going to tell your followers this. I'm going to tell these people that. And what it would do, because I didn't want to be humble enough to admit, and this is why I live in a transparent world as much as I can. Y'all don't need to know everything about me, but I try to be transparent in the moment that I need to be. It's because I'm not going to allow my life's decisions, bad decisions, hold me hostage. When I got to the point in life where I said, and the older I got, because there were things that I was trying to deny or fix up, and make me look better to other people of something I did in my early 20s. But in my heart of heart, I knew I was wrong. I knew I did this wrong. And so I began to say, when people begin to make those statements, I'm going to tell this person, I'm going to expose you on this. I said, you ain't got to expose me. I'll do it myself. And so what I began to do, I began to go on. Whenever I heard that statement, I proved to the devil, I don't care. And I started saying, you know what? Here's what I did. Yes, that if you're going to tell the story, I got to this thing. If you're going to tell the story, tell the whole story. Tell all of it. Don't allow your past mistakes, your past way of doing things to stop you from growing and being a bigger and better person today. Be humble enough to admit that back in the day, I was a mess. Or back in the day, I didn't have all the information. And for some of us, let's just be real, yesterday, I didn't do things right. Yesterday, I didn't say things right. When we begin to be humble enough to be honest with our lives. I often tell the story about when we went to St. Louis and the lady preached a sermon, the pastor preached a sermon, and the name of her sermon was Tell the Whole Story. And she was talking about the lineage. One gospel broke down the lineage of Jesus, and it left out key people. It left out all the bad people, the prostitute. It left out all of them. And so when she taught from that scripture, she said, no, if you're going to tell your story, tell your whole story. But in order to tell your whole story, you're going to have to be humble. You're going to have to be able to come back and say, you remember when I told y'all this, and this? Well, that wasn't the whole truth. I dressed it up so I can put some sugar on it and feed it to you. No, I did this. And see, here's what I've noticed. When we aren't honest about our lives, we live a life of caution. What I mean by that is, we live in a manner where we don't want our past exposed, which causes us to be in bondage. If you was a gangbanger or a drug dealer back in the day, you live your life. If you kill somebody, they don't know who did it. Whatever the case may be, you live yourself. And I know I went to the extreme on those categories. But you live yourself in a manner where you don't want your past exposed. So you're not free to be you. And then when we find ourselves, especially, and this is preachers, and I learned this about preachers. I'm one of them, so I can talk about them. When we finally cross over, I guess you could say, into being a minister, a lot of us live fake lives. We live a life that is not really us. We live a life from an expectation of what other people think of us or look at us. That's how I used to be. Now I don't care. I'm going to be me regardless. I love God all day long, and he loves me all day long. But Jason is going to be Jason. Until you have that freedom of life. And I'm so saddened when I look at especially ministers, and there are different other categories I can name, but those that are in the gospel, that's teaching the gospel, I am so sad when I look at people and how in bondage they are because of the expectation people have put on them that God hasn't. Here's my thought of the day for you all. What's the group name? Not SWV, Vogue. Vogue. In 92, I still remember I was getting ready to go to boot camp and they played it over and over in MEPS. They had a song that started out that says, "Free your mind and the rest will follow." If you free your mind, in other words, if you free yourself from yourself, everything else will line up. Free your mind. I wish I would have known I was going to say that. I would have downloaded that song. But that right there is life altering. Free your mind and all of the rest will follow. My friends, today, I hope that you see things a lot clearer, and that this one word, humility, will free you from some things. And I hope that each and every one of you all that know you have to go back and apologize to someone, know you have to go back and say, "I'm sorry, I was wrong." It may be to your children. It may be to your parents. It may be to an ex-lover. It may be to a friend or ex-friend, however you want. When you admit, when you break down and stop being so cocky and arrogant, as if you have, the one thing that I hate is people that walk around and act as if they've never done anything wrong in a day in their life. There's a lot we have to do in this day and age. This world is real jacked up. Especially our nation, is real jacked up. And to be honest, it's jacked up because people don't want to be honest about the truth. People just don't want to be honest. I'm not excluding myself. We're all in the same boat. There are things in our lives that we have to learn how to be honest with. Open and honest with. And that word humility is the key ingredient to be that way. I hope something I said today really triggered something on the inside of you. That something that was said could adjust your future. Adjust your present to better your future. I hope it adjusts what you're doing today so you can have a better future. Humility. You all have a great day. I will see you all next week. Let me say this, those that are in the ATL area, I am taking over Smoking Phoenix in Stone Mountain, Georgia, for the weekend. The owners of that spot is out of town or going out of town, and they left me the keys. So we're going to have a great time this weekend. So if you're in the Atlanta area, especially in the Stone Mountain area, I'm at a place. I will be running a place as if I'm the owner, called Smoking Phoenix. Holla at your boy. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's all good. It's all gravy. Y'all be good.
I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I think